Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Marriage is Tougher Than Woodpecker Lips podcast. This is Brian, joined by my co-host, Paul. We'd like to welcome you to a community meant for the men of the world to share their thoughts and perspectives on marriage. We can learn from each other's experiences and help each other be better husbands. This week on the pod, we want to talk to you about when you say that you're giving 100% or you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, are you really?
And before we hop into this episode, we'd just like to say thank you for taking some time out to chat with us. If this is your first time, welcome. You've been rocking this with us for a while. We appreciate you coming back. If you'd like to go deeper in this conversation, you can DM us on any social media channel, just searching Marriage is Tougher, or you can go to marriageisttougher.com, hit the contact us button, and fill out the form. If you'd like to be a guest, do the same. Just when you hit the contact form, just leave us your name and your information. We'll figure out how to get you on the show. We really appreciate you guys taking time out. Now let's jump right into it.
All right. Yeah, man. How you doing today? How's everything going?
Doing the best I can.
Are you? Man, that's such a funny thought. And I love how you brought that up. You're like, we don't reflect on what that actually means. Right. And I'm trying to think like how often we just say things out of habit. Right. Like, hey, how you doing? I'm good. I'm all right. Are you though? Like I guess I ask because I see it on your face. You're not good. But is it that we don't want to actually have the conversation? Maybe we're too busy, or is there at times? It's probably all of the above, right? There's that at times we lack the trust to have that vulnerable conversation with the person who asked the question, right? Or is it that we're trying to keep this facade that we've got everything together?
Man, I think it's all of the above at different times, right? All of those are a reason, but they're not all the same reason at the same time. I think it's if someone asks me how I'm doing and I have no relational equity with them, they're getting the truest answer in the moment, right? So whatever that is, I'm going to give the best version of it, right? So if I'm at work, it's, man, I'm living the dream job, right? Because where I am, it is the dream job. My job is a job that I dreamt about and was like, man, it'd be really nice to have this job. Now, are there aspects of the job that I would like to change? Absolutely. But in the grand scheme of things, this is the perfect job for me, right? But if I have relational equity and they're like, man, how are you doing really? You're not your normal chipper self. Then it's like, oh, I should probably reflect on like what's going on and then give them whatever version we have relationally that they can handle, right? I'm not going to dump out my world's problems to them if that's not something they can handle and we don't have that relationship. But I could mention just something for them to know, whether it's lack of sleep, whether it's, just been running around, whether it's, got some deadlines to come in that I'm thinking about where my mind is preoccupied, then I'll be a little bit more real. I know that's kind of a tangent, but I was just thinking about how do I respond? But I generally think, and I've had multiple people say, you know what, it's refreshing to see someone think before they answer when they ask how you're doing. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
So whether intentional or unintentional, I really like the difference in the way you ask the question. So that's a factor as well, right? If I just in passing, like, hey, how's it going? Right. Or if I say, hey, how's it going? To your point, right? You're not your normal chipper self. There's more depth to that question and it makes you appear more open to the real answer.
Right. That's
Right.
true.
We're just in passing, like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Right. If I say what's up to you, it's technically a question, but I don't have the time and or interest in you giving me a real answer.
True
Right? Like
statement.
I'm busy. I'm on my way to do something right now. Right.
Yeah, it's basically we've used those phrases instead of saying I see you, you say those things. Like what's up? What's good? Right?
Yeah.
It's like it's more like an acknowledgement. right? And I think when I really realized it is how if you interact with people from other cultures or bilingual people,
Mhm.
um, because American English is not their first language, you can see how they've adopted that those sayings, but they say like the full phrase, like, or
Yeah,
they'll text it out like, "Oh, how are you doing today?" Right, instead of like, "What's good? How are you? What's up?" So it's like the true intent behind the truest intent of the language is how they say it out, because like they're not used to the idiosyncrasies and the cultural kind of way that we do it. They just see, okay, they're asking, "How are you?" or "What's up?" or "What's going on?" Like, so how do I say that in English, right?
right,
Right?
right, right.
Um, so it as you work with people that are from different cultures or have different languages, you're like, oh, like that's kind of a stupid question that you feel like you have to ask before you request something else, right? It's more like a greeting. It's
Correct.
not like a you really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that part. Some of that is just our society's way of, and I'm assuming at one point, because you're a close knit community, like communities started small. So it really was like, how are you? Before you get into any requests or anything further, like seeing the real person is that part of a relationship, right? So it just has, as we've grown and as we've changed where we live societally, that's what it is.
Man, I have this big smile on my face because I have so many questions. Um, there's three main questions, so I don't forget them. I'm gonna just flush them out, and then we can try to walk through them. Right. So to your point, um, when someone greets you and it's in the form of a question, do you ever feel the inkling to ask them, "Do you really want to know?" Right. So it kind of validates whether, like, where are we at here?
Hmm.
Secondly, in a position of leadership, whether you are the leader or you're communicating with a leader, does that dynamic change, right? If a leader asks you, let's say in the workplace, um, "Hey, how are you doing today?" or "How's it going?" Right? I struggle sometimes with how to respond. Are they genuinely asking me how work is going, or is it a greeting? Right? And then the last piece, which is more important to the podcast, um, in your marriage, when you interact with your wife, how many times do you greet in that way where you're not intentionally asking them to fill you in?
Hmm. That's all that is really good. I'm going to hone in on the last because I think your statements for the first two are thought provoking, and we really need to think about that. Like, how
Yep.
do we walk that out? I think the part in marriage, I was definitely thinking about that as you were talking before you even got there. It was like, man, do I even greet my wife in that way,
Yeah.
or is it just jumping into whatever the thing is?
Mm.
Um,
Depends on the day.
yeah. So it's like, okay, I need to check in with her first before anything else really comes. Like, where are you? But I think it's a culture shift within your marriage if you don't already do that,
Mm.
right? Because now every conversation of substance or even not is going to come with a check-in, even though obviously if you just checked in 20 minutes ago and you're asking another question, then you don't have to do that. But if I haven't seen you all morning and I'm checking in at lunch, even if it is like a little, hey, are we still meeting for dinner at such and such, whatever? If you have the time, try to check in. Like, that's relational equity
Mm.
building up. That's the relational aspect, that pillar of your marriage, that relational intimacy that is big for everyone in general, but a lot of times it's big just for a spouse. Man, I never thought about that. This is a good one.
Bro, listen, I'm gonna add another layer to this. I
You a
am not
chef, it's fine.
a cook. Uh, I am not always prepared for the response. What I mean by that is, right, and especially in this season of our life, the kids all have something to do, especially if it's a Wednesday, they all have practice of some sort, right? And I get home 15, 20 minutes before my wife. I've got things going already, trying to, get dinner prepared for the kids or whatever. Um, she walks in the door, greets them. I'm likely still in the kitchen, right? She does what she's got to do. She comes in the kitchen, and I think habitually I ask, "Hey, how was your day?" Right? I'm not always prepared for her to actually tell me,
Hmm.
right? I'm not always prepared to actually be in listening mode, right? So I think I have to be more careful about when or how I ask that question, um, because there are often times where, right, like I ask that question, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I got like 5 minutes before you got to get out the door, and she is like ready to unload, and I'm like, oh, sorry for asking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think as you were saying that, I was watching that play out, and I think there's an acknowledgement that needs to be, I want to hear about your day,
Mhm.
but I just can't do it right now.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a, hey, um, in essence, hey, I want to hear about your day. Can you remind me later to ask about your day so I can hear about it?
So good.
Because we have to such and such, like, especially on the Wednesdays, like, hey, babe, hi, I want to hear about your day. I'm 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 asking you right now, but I can hear it later. I'd love to hear about it later. But let's get these kids in the car so we can get out of here, right? I think it's acknowledging that you see your spouse and you want to know, but just circumstances aren't there for you to be fully present. And I think it's good to have like a pre-conversation, like middle of the day on a Saturday, like, hey, I've been thinking about this, or I heard this podcast and they were talking about asking how your day was. Like, I literally want to hear about your day every day. But there are some days that when I would normally ask, like first thing when you come in, I don't have time to be fully engaged. I want to hear about it. Um, but I don't know. That's not to me, that's not the best time. When do you think a best time would be? And then it's, how can I let you know that I'm willing to hear this in that moment? Like, what can I say? What's the language that we can use to let you know that I see you and I want to hear it, but I just can't do it right now? And if
That
you can come
feel
up with that, even if it's like a stupid, silly word like apricot.
love it. Man, that feels so loving, right? That
Right.
conversation, it's intentional, and shows that you truly care about your wife, right? You care about the relationship, you care about her mental health, right? You care about her true condition. And it goes back to how we started the podcast, right? Like, are you fully executing on the responses that you give?
Right. The full stop answer is no.
For sure, for sure. Or we wouldn't be having this conversation,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's crazy. And I think I was reading a journal, or I was listening to something, and they were saying that there's only like 1% of the world that can truly multitask, like actually do two things at once.
Mm,
But most people, the people that we say are multitasking, they just have uh, the great brain processing power to switch from one thing to the next really fast.
yeah,
So it seems like it's doing it at the same time. Um, so a lot of times we're trying to do multiple things at the same time. And some of us, me, I'm the problem, don't do those well. So it would seem like I am doing my best, but I haven't really thought about what does the best look like in this situation. Or I am doing good. And generally speaking, I think a lot of times we speak from the undercurrent of what is, right? Because we've been through a lot worse, or been through in a lot worse places than we are when people ask us. So we generally are good. If someone says, "How are you?" "I'm good," or "What's going on?" "Everything's fine." Um, but it's those times when you can really, when you answer like doing the best I can, right? To think about doing the best I can before those words come out of your mouth, you might really want to think, am I doing the best that I can?
Yeah.
In that, with a mindset of growth, you can start to really think that would help you grow quicker, because you're starting to evaluate, wait, where are the holes? Like, I want to be able to say I'm doing the best. So what would that look like?
Do we have the capacity to operate that way?
I was thinking about that as I was saying it, because that would take a lot.
Yes.
Because even the highest achievers, they operate their best in a certain area,
Mhm.
but it wouldn't be the best that they can holistically. As I'm thinking about, if you're thinking athletes, if you're thinking um, academics,
Mhm.
if we're thinking creators, um, when you're doing the best or the top in a certain space, traditionally other aspects are lacking, because all of your effort is going to that space that you're best in.
Yeah.
Um,
This is going to be a funny statement. The best isn't the best, right? So if I tell you I'm doing the best I can, it doesn't mean that I am the best at what I'm doing, right? So maybe I do excel at work, but I'm kind of lacking as a husband, but I'm putting as much effort as I can into it, right? Um, I could arguably say that I'm doing the best that I can in that area, right?
mhm.
With the capacity that I have. Um, Maybe my priorities need to switch.
Right, it's the capacity issue. Like, where we all only have a certain capacity. It's where are we putting our effort is a good. It's almost like the effort is the better answer. I'm
Right.
giving it the best effort that I can. Right, but it's
I'm
just,
giving it all that I've
yeah,
got.
it's really a word play. But like you said, it's capacity. We only have a certain amount of time, energy that we can spend on things. So we have to shift if we've overextended ourselves. And I beg to say, anytime you have a kid, you've overextended. Um, you overextended yourself. But saying that is what is, am I doing the best based on the capacity that I have? But that's too long of an answer to actually say when someone asks you. Um, that doesn't really care about the answer. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Who's using it just as a greeting tool,
Yeah. That
right? So
might
it's,
be a good way to filter out, though, who's willing to have those conversations.
that's true. And you, right, but you don't want to exclude out everybody, right?
No, I'm just saying,
But
but
it's
like
like,
if you start to say something like that and their eyes immediately glaze
glaze
over,
over,
like, oh, you're not the one.
right? I mean, that is true to filter and see, use that. But when you find those people that are willing and really want to know what's going on, hold on to them tight,
For sure.
because they can definitely give you life by affirming, lifting you up, all those things. That's funny. It's all the capacity, though. It's like, it's all time. I never have time.
Oh man. Or at least I've convinced myself I don't have time.
Yeah,
Don't
the time, we
don't
can go
catch
on a
me
time
feeling scrolling.
tangent for
Yeah.
sure. Um, but all, all that to say is, maybe that's the next episode. Um, I think to be a man of your word, and this is a thing of being uncomfortable, laying down your preferences for who you feel Jesus is calling you to be, um, those things. It's There's a standard that you have to set for yourself,
Mhm.
And you have to start thinking like, okay, how did I get to where I am? And I think that's what we're asking. Like we're saying, we say these things, but are we really these things?
Right.
So it's how do I get better and be who I say that I am or be who I want to say that I am? And so it's really like being mindful of the words that you say. We don't have to say everything. We don't have to be in the culture that we're living in that space of, I don't want to say lack of care, but the culture of care, quote unquote, right? Because the words are saying I care, but really it's just saying what's up. So maybe it's just saying, hey, I see you,
Yeah.
right?
I like
Like,
that.
you know,
I like that. Because you could even do that from a distance.
yeah. And also, you can just say hello.
Yes.
You can just say hi. That's what a greeting is. Or you can say greetings. Literally, any word that is actually a greeting, that's all you have to say. I mean, culturally, there are certain things that you say different places. But hello, hi, um, you know,
I love that because it informs the interaction, right? The type of interaction.
yeah,
Especially if it's like, if you're a passerby, right? If I just say, "Hey, hi," right? I'm not
that's it.
necessarily trying to fully engage. I'm just saying hi.
Man, and actually, it's a weird thing, but if you say, like I'm walking about, and I say, I see you, Brian, fist bump,
Yeah,
right? That feels different. It
it
feels like
does.
care,
We're
but
not even
it's
in the same state, and it felt different.
correct, correct, right? So it's actually funny. When I was in college, I was a practice player. I went to Ohio State, and um, the the girls basketball team had male practice players, right? And the coach at that time, um, part of the language of their culture was if you see a pass but you don't make the pass but you see it, you say I see you. So you'd be
Mm,
like, oh, I see you, Brian, but even if you're passing it, like if you're doing passing to someone else, so you acknowledge that you saw the read, but you
yep,
chose to do something else.
yeah,
And it was just that's always stuck to me, like because you're actively, and they practice that every day. Like that's their language. You literally on offense, you say that if there's a pass to be made, you see it. So one, the cutter knows that you saw them.
yep.
Two, you let everyone on the team know that you saw the read, but you chose to make another read. So it's just like it was just like a dope thing. That you just be, yo, I see you, and just fist bump, moving right along, right? Like so, it's always stuck to me. But it's something that I think I'm probably gonna try to put to practice because even when you see people that you know and all you're gonna do is fist bump them anyway, or like shake their hand to say the I see you part is like you see them.
That is amazing, and I've never really thought about that, but I'm thinking now as I am developing into leadership, how much that could mean to someone, right? Because how many people do you pass in the course of a day in an office setting, right? And I don't necessarily have the time to engage everybody, right? Like I don't have the time or capacity to pass the ball to everyone. That's just not a
Hmm.
thing. It's not possible. But to acknowledge that someone was seen, right? To acknowledge that I am aware enough to what's the word I'm looking for? To maybe I've used the word already. So just to acknowledge that that person is there, right?
Hmm.
Uh, it could even really acknowledge that you see that they're making a contribution, dependent on what they're doing at the
Hmm.
time. That's got to be so impactful.
I mean, thinking about this, just like the culture shift that it could be if you're like in an office setting and you just walk by, like, I see you, John. I see you, Mark.
Yeah,
I see you, Sandy.
yeah.
Right? As you're like, is that a thing that people would latch on to? I don't know. I don't care. But I'm just thinking, like, you know, and the cool thing is it does allow you to go deeper on certain things, right? Like, if someone dresses nice, right? Or someone's very fashionable, you're like, I see you like that tie, right?
Yeah,
Like, just enough to say, like, I see you and point out something.
Right.
right? So I don't know. I'm gonna try that. I work in a rather large office, but I'm gonna try to see. My team is small, so we'll see if that works. So I might try that at church, though. That might get a little wild.
Oh, man. I love that, though. I really do. Man, because I'm thinking it's going to test how many names you know. Like, if
I
you
was thinking about that too. I was like, what if I don't know?
Oh, man. But, I mean, I think it could still be meaningful if you don't know a name, but you still wanna acknowledge somebody, right, in passing or whatever it is. Just still saying, like, "Hey, I see you," you know? Good work if they're actively doing,
Hmm.
something in their role. Um, I if you're appreciative of how they saw someone else, right? Like, if you see someone complimenting someone else, like,
Right.
"Hey, I see you. Love that," right?
Hmm.
"Thank you." 2
Yeah.
words. So huge. So thank you for bringing that up because I didn't know that was a thing. Um, but 2, I'm gonna make sure that that's impactful in my life going forward.
Yeah. Just a little language change can show you that you care. Um, it's just being intentional, right? And thinking about the things that you say. And if they don't always line up, how can I adopt them to mean what I want them to mean? Um, so I think that's definitely a good deal.
Yeah. And I'm just realizing while coaching, I do that on the football field, right?
Hmm.
Like, let's say I'm coaching defense, which is what I do, and the play goes this way. I am intentional about acknowledging the backside defense.
Hmm.
Like, "Hey, I
Oh, for
really
sure.
like how you got to the ball." Like,
Right.
right? I wasn't looking at you, but I saw what you did. I saw where
Right.
you ended up. Thank you
Hmm.
for following instructions, right? Thank you for doing this. Um, thank you for staying home, right? Because the play could have reversed or
Right.
whatever the case may be. Especially with these little kids, man. I'm very intentional about reinforcing those little details about what they're doing. And it's always fun to just see them light up when they're seen.
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
and we're all kids at heart, man.
Everyone, right? Just to say, everyone wants to be seen,
Yeah,
and to feel like they matter, and to actually say "I see you" while looking at them means you've seen them,
yeah.
and that impacts us all. So, man, I didn't even think about that. The Lord's funny. Bring those things up.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. And like magic, 28 minutes has evaporated, but I feel like it was impactful, and I really enjoyed this conversation. So I'm good if you are, unless you have anything else.
I'm good. I'm interested in. Yes, I'm good. Uh, I think we should have a discussion on time and capacity and how to do that. Um, but thank you, everyone, for listening. Getting to 28 minutes in or so. We appreciate you guys. Again, if you have any questions or any sayings that you say or any things that you say when you mean it, hit us up. DMS search and marriage is tougher on any social media platform, or you can go to marriageistougher.com, hit the contact form, and um, leave a comment there. We are going to be ramping up our guests soon, so if you'd like to be a guest, please hit the contact form, leave your name, how we can get in contact with you, and what topic you'd like to talk about. We appreciate you guys always hanging out with us. So we will chat with you later.
Peace.